Hey guys, welcome back. Alright, so I got another job here that I'm getting ready to start, and I thought I'd share it with you, okay? So what we got here is a pair of spindles off of a forklift. And you got one that's a sample, it's good, and you got one that's bad that I got to do some repair on. And this is the one that's bad here, and if you'll see this is worn really bad right here. So what we've got to do is build this surface back up and machine it, machine it back square, and it'll just look like this one for the other side. And this one's good. And I've got a measurement on it. I believe it was 5.5 inches is what it is. Yeah, it's 5.5 inches. This one here is worn down. That's measuring about 5 5/16. So we've got a good 3/16, quarter inch or so that we're gonna have to build this thing up. And I've already checked it, and it is steel. What I did was, you can see there's a little divot right there. I went down to the drill press and just touched it with a drill, and you can usually tell right off if it's steel or if it's cast iron. And it was putting out the stringy chips. Plus it's welded back here on both of them, so that indicates that it's actually steel. So I've got to check it. I'm pretty sure that it will swing in the Monarch. I measured, from the center of this hole out here, and we're getting around 8. That's about 8 inches. So that should swing in the Monarch because I have about 18 inches swing. But I'll check it before I start everything and just make sure. So I thought I'd share with you how we're going to do this. My idea of doing it. So once you weld it, you've got to be able to set it back up in a true position. And the easiest way to do that would be to work off this existing bore. And this is an 1.25 inch bore, standard size. Building a mandrel for it to go on doesn't really help you too much unless you can lock it down on it somehow. But building a mandrel that comes all the way through doesn't do any good because this is the surface that you got to machine. So there's one way you can do it is with one of these. This is an expanding mandrel. I don't know how many of you guys ever use these, but these work really good. So you've got a sleeve there that's got the same taper as this, and you can slide it on down on there and it expands. So you've got a nice range there. Got the fire trucks out. So I could stick this in here like so, and I'll just do it for demonstration. All right, and it locks up and you bump it, tightens up. So you chuck it here and you run a center there, and then you can swing this true with that bore. And this would work pretty good for facing the ends right here that I'm going to weld up, but it'd be pretty hard to get in there and bore this because my weld's going to roll over, so I'm going to have to true that bore up on this end. I could do it this way and face the end square to the length that it needs to be, and then take it off the mandrel and chuck it back up and indicate the bore in the face. Chuck it here in the forage jaw and re-indicate it. That might be one way to do it. Let me get this out of here. But I'll show you another little trick that I got that I might be able to do here with this. I've got these guys here that are also expanding mandrels. I've got 3 different sizes, and it's on a number 4 Morse taper. And all you do is, once you tighten up this spanner nut right here, it expands this mandrel in the center. So you can stick something on here, tighten up the nut, and it'll hold it on the ID. You can do your OD machining. So this is a 1 inch size. This is the 1.25 inch, which will fit this one. And I also got another one for 1.5 inch. So you got to deal with the Morse taper, right? That's where the sleeve comes in. So you stick that in there, okay, bump that up in there, and you can chuck it here and then indicate it true. And these haven't been used in a long time, so they need to be cleaned up. I'll put everything in a 3-jaw and hit it with some emery paper to clean everything up. So here's the 1¼ inch. What I could do is stick that in there like so. Alright, I'll have to tighten that up real good. I don't have a wrench to fist this, so I'll have to use like a chain wrench or something to tighten it up. And then that'll be on there. Alright, this will be chucked up really close in the 4-jaw and swing it like that. And I think this might work. If I tighten this up good, this may work pretty good right here to do the facing. That way I can face it and finish the bore at the same time. So that might be the way to go, is to try to use this mandrel right here. And you know, I wish it was longer, it would go on up in there further, but this is what I got, so this is what we're gonna play with. So alright, so that's the game plan. This is the repair we got to do, and I'm gonna check it beforehand and make sure everything will swing in the lathe and it looks good, and then from there we'll do some welding. I'll probably use my stick welder and build this up nice, and then go to the lathe with it and do some facing. Alright, we're in the Monarch, and I was getting it trued up. Wanted you to see what we got going here. So I stuck it on here, and I trued up the collar down here, you know, the Morse taper sleeve. I trued that up to 0. Put the spindle on here, and I tightened it up as tight as I could with these big channel locks. It's pretty tight, but I would probably want to retighten it once I do the work. So I wanted to put my indicator down here. Now this is our little ID indicating attachment like I've showed before. And we're going to check it here and see what we got. So it looks like we're getting about 4, 5. It's about 4 thousandths. Well, there's 5 there, so all right, let's just say 5 thousandths. So I'm getting 5 thousandths now. I don't know if that's in the bore itself that's throwing it off. I don't know if it's the mandrel. I just know that I've got this running 0, so this should be running 0 right here. So that's not really bad right there, but I want to make sure that whenever I come down here and skin this a little bit, that it's true with the bore on this end. So what I'll do is go ahead and just indicate this end, where I've got the indicator now. We'll go ahead and get this running true while I got it in here, and hopefully once I get it welded, I'll just leave this alone. I'll take it off once it's welded. We'll put it back on here, tighten it up, and you know, I'll reach in there again with the indicator and try to get a reading on it to see if we moved. Alright, so that's high, so we're going to loosen that. Just bumping it. It's low. I've got these jaws pretty tight. It's probably, I'd say about a 1/2 thousandths right there. Alright, we'll leave that alone. So we got quite a bit of stick out, which I don't really like, so, but I'm going to give it a shot. Give it a shot, see what it does. I'll do some light cuts across there to clean the face up, and you know, we won't be doing any heavy cutting, so we'll give this setup a try and see if we can get it done. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting it welded up. I'll try to show you a little bit of the welding. I'm not going to show you all of it. You've seen me running a stick weld before. what I really like to do is try to make me a lens with the auto darkening from an auto darkening shield. See if maybe later on we could get some pretty cool shots. I've got this auto darkening shield here. This belongs to my brother, and it needs a new headband. It's just broken, but I was trying to see if I could hang that on the camera, but I'll have to fasten some kind of mount for it to hang. So we'll just play with this for a little bit like it is. Doing good. I finished running this bead, and I forgot I need to take this tape off because that stuff's going to start melting here pretty soon. Alright, that's one beat down. Let me finish her up. I'll show you how it looks when I'm done. Okay, I think I got it pretty well built up. I'm going to take it out and look at it. I might need to lay it on its side and touch up around the outside just a little bit to kind of fill it in. So, but I think we're pretty close to being there. So next time you see it, it's probably going to be in the Monarch. Okay, we got her set back up in the lathe, and we're going to start doing some face cuts. We got probably 100 to 125 thousandths we're going to take off there. So I'm just going to take some light cuts across there and not get in a hurry and see how it does. Alright, so that was a couple light cuts. I can get a little reading there. See about where I'm at. Alright, cool. We got we still got a good 1/8 of an inch to come off there. I'm just taking 25 thousandths because I don't want to push it with that kind of stick out. And I am using a high-speed tool bit here. Applications like this, I like the high speed over, say, like a carbide insert tool, because you're not creating as much tool pressure. It's a little more free cutting. I think we're going to have a pretty nice cleanup. I'm going to do the OD a little bit also. I'll probably have some low spots on the OD in some places, but that'd be okay. Alright, we're still on target here, so 34 to 35 thousandths. We'll do another 25 and then we'll take a final cut. Alright guys, the finish looks good. It's got a nice smooth feel to it. I wasn't getting any chattering or ringing out of it, so I think the setup's nice and rigid. So alright, next step, let me set up a small boring bar and we'll go in here and true this ID out. Alright, we got a small bar set up with another little high-speed tool, and we'll start truing up this bore. Same way, just making some light cuts. Just don't want to push the setup too hard here. Alright, got a good 200 thousandths to come out, so I'll keep making some passes. And when I get it close, I'll bring it back. Alright, I'm getting pretty close to my 1 1/4 size. I'm about 20 thousandths or so away. I'm going to get me a little reading here with my telescope gauge right on the end where I'm cutting it. And it's miking 1 inch, 229.5, right at 230. So we've got about 20, really about 22 thousandths. I believe the hole was about 2 to 3 thousandths over 1 1/4 inch. So let's see. We'll go ahead and take 10. What I want to do is try to get a reading. It's got a little bit of that dusty feel in there. I'm going to try to get a reading right behind the welded area. And it's showing just a little under right there. It may have shrunk some. Okay, that's 251 on back a little bit further down in the hole. So this area behind my weld has shrunk a little bit. So I'm going to let the tool go on through there a little ways. Let's see. Probably to them holes there. Alright, so let's see where I'm at on my cut. Alright, 241, so that's 10 thousandths there. Double check it. Okay. So 10 thousandths is what we need. I'll go ahead and let it run up in the hole. And hopefully this will all just blend together really nice. I can run my flapper through there and just kind of blend it all. I think it did good. I think that's going to work out good right there. All right, about 250.5. So we're good. Everything's looking real good. I'm real happy with this. So I'm just going to polish the bore, and I might see if I've got a piece of 1.25 that I can slide through there just to verify it. So, all right, so let's go ahead and move on, and we'll turn this OD here just to kind of clean it up and make it look good, and then we'll put a couple chamfers on there. Okay, last turning process. We're going to do the same thing. Just going to use my high-speed tool bit, touch off, and just take some light cuts to clean the OD up. I'll take 50 thousandths on these because that's what I was taking off the ID. Okay, yeah, so we're touching there. And it won't take much to clean that up. And it looks like it's right past the weld there where it meets the original cast. I can see a hard spot there. Alright, what I'll probably do is go ahead and I'll probably stick a carbide tool in here and just try to take another little light pass across there. Yeah, it got the corner of my tool bit there. We'll just make a little light pass to try to clean that up. Let's make a little pass here and see what it does with the carbide. That handled it better there. That shiny section right there, that's where the hard spot is. Alright, I think I'm just going to leave it there. We're going to leave that. You know, this dimension here doesn't matter. But I don't want to take too much off because it is cutting to the side of the cast. So all we got left to do now is just put a light chamfer on each corner, and I'll hit it with some emery paper and try to blend it good. Lift it up just a little. All I want to do is just break the edge. Okay. Not bad. So I still had 2 spots there that it didn't clean up fully, but we're going to let it live, and I think that'll be just fine. Main thing was getting the proper length there, or the height, you might say. So, all right, time to get it out of there, and let me see if I can check the ID. Okay, I did some flapping and cleaned it out all the way through there from a flapper through, and I think we're good. This is a piece of 1¼ drill rod. I just got it clamped in the Kurt vise. And you can see it's fitting on there. It's got just a touch of resistance down here on this end that I've welded in machine, and I think that's good though, because at least it'll help tighten up the fit of that pin, which, you know, I don't have the pin, the king pin that goes through this to know how it fits. So I feel with a piece of 1¼ drill rod going through there good, this should work fine. So there we have it. Just got a couple pieces of spouter there I'll clean up. So, all right, that's about it for this job. Everything worked out pretty good, and I was glad to get to show you some new tools to use, some of those expanded mandrels, and it was a little bit of fun doing something a little different every now and then. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and catch you next job. Okay.